president of the province that is made out of 28 municipalities. And thank you very much for being here in Grosseto, in this sunny place, wonderful place that everybody loves. Whoever comes here for the first time wants to stay here for longer. And the more you stay here, the more you want to stay here. I come from Florence, and I have a farm, you know. I'm a breeder, and I have sheep breeding, and we eat and all these things, and I enjoy very much when I stay here because it's a wonderful place. Because I don't know if in English it's correct to say that I'm a little bit metapathic. I like very much when there is the sun. Usually when I was younger, I used to spend summertime 6 months here and 6 months in Australia because my uncle is Australian. And I have a brother who traveled in Chicago, emigrated, and now he is an American citizen. So my heart beats very fast because I love the United States of America, and I always try to take example to understand mentality, society, economics, finance, and the world of work, of job, of enterprises, companies that is incredibly advanced compared to Italian one. So I'm really honored. It's me who is honored to have you all here enjoying your stay here. Grosseto is a very small village. It's a bit, I wouldn't call it a city. And we have around 100,000 citizens, but the province of Grosseto is around 400,000 people. I know that you come from Florida, from a city where you have 1 million citizens, so it's much larger, much bigger. In the United States, everything is big, is wide, is huge, you know. In Italy, everything is small, but very nice, high quality. And this is applicable also to all things that come from products, that come from agriculture, that come from agro-industrial processing, and from industry and factories of many kinds. We have the feature of being able to make little things being very beautiful and very sellable around the world. You know, we don't have huge masses of things that you can sell around the world. This is something that for the small Italy would be impossible. You know, so we have to obviously to get used to what we can do best. You know, so you can see all these things in Grosseto. Grosseto is a city that works, the internal product comes from agriculture, agro-industrial products, around 45%. It's the main capital of Italy from the agricultural point of view. There is no other Italian city that is as good, as big, as productive from the agricultural point of view as Grosseto. And you have wonderful cheese, wonderful meat, wonderful breedings. We have more than 65% of sheep present in the entire Tuscan region. You have cows, you have the most important buffalo breeding system. And you also have Borgia, that is the friend you have known, that is an important breeder, and he has milk cows. And all these things, you know, make this 45% of the internal product that is the feature, the main feature from the economic point of view of Grosseto. But then we have also the province, with, as I said, is 28 municipalities, and that has another feature that makes it very important and very regional. It's very wide, incredibly wide. It's over 5,000 square kilometers wide, and has another thing that is important and remarkable: the fact that you have a very low anthropization index. That means that you have very few people living a square kilometer. That means that every square kilometer you have no more than 40 people. And this makes it nice from a certain point of view if you like to be in peace, if you like to have your space. What makes it harder, what concerns services, what concerns transportation, what concerns everything that is around, evolves around making money and making enterprises. And so this is the drawback, the negative aspect of being in such a wonderful place. So what we have to do in this province to make it comparable to other provinces that are much advanced, even in Italy, speaking about Italian territory, is to make all these enterprises come together, make a network, like such a network, so that you can put up something that is in the condition of being able of competing in the European and worldwide international global system. So this is one of our goals that we have in our mind. Another thing that we do in order to develop this kind of feature is to make the taxes very low. My government, I know you are not interested in that, but I want to tell you, I'm not making election campaign, but this is very important. lower the taxes very much from the garbage and the occupation of the public soil and all these things in order to make enterprises and companies being able to develop quicker. And this is something that is very important because in Italy we have a big problem that all young people that study here in Italy need to travel abroad, to go away, like my brother did from the United States and my uncle did in Australia, because you don't find a big job, you don't find a nice job here in Italy. You have all this quality, but you don't have the, it's not like in other places of the world, you don't have job mobility, so that when you finish your studies, you enter immediately the world of work and jobs and all these things. You have more than 42% of unemployment tax rate, young unemployment tax rate. In the Tuscan region, on over 100 guys, 42 don't find a job. And this is very, obviously it's terrible, you know? So we have to face this problem and try to make all these efforts. Then we have the global conjunctural crisis that started from the United States in the year 2008 and came abroad, you know, in Europe, and touched Grosseto at last. We entered the crisis in 2011, 2012, but we are the last country, the last city that gets out of the crisis, because we have this, we entered the last and we exit the last, unfortunately. So in this period of time, we are just smiling at the first signals of getting out, exiting the crisis, but we still have to do a lot of job. So what is very important for me for you to understand is that since these guys don't find a job and have to travel abroad, for me it's incredibly important to find occasional situation in which guys from abroad, from the United States, from Florida, from your wonderful universities, your wonderful places you come from, come in Italy and makes exchanges, makes acknowledgement of the places. Because I think that there is not a place that is better than others. Every place has a single feature, its original part that can be liked, can be loved. So knowing the world, traveling around the world is always something that is fantastic, enriching, and enriches not only your souls, but also your cultural luggage, you know, your cultural baggage. And this is something that I try with the president of the University of Grosseto to enhance as much as possible. This is why I will try all my best in all of my power next year to make this event even bigger, to make this event even more enjoyable, and to make also other things, to make it, no really, I'm really, how you say in Italy, excited, you know, to have you all here. All these wonderful young guys that come in Italy, you know, and enjoy all our wonderful things. So my government is really focused and emphasizes the fact that this kind of exchanges must be enhanced, must be powered up. And so this is something that I say to everybody, you that organize this wonderful thing. This is my effort, this is my goal. Because when you come here, you bring a part of yourself, you bring a part of your knowledge, you bring a part of your personality, but you take away a little piece of Grosseto, a little piece of Maremma to the United States, and you speak to your parents, to your friends, to your relatives, and you explain them how beautiful it is to stay here. So it's not only a wonderful enriching from the point of view I explained before, situation that you live in, but it's also something that can exponentially grow up in the future and become bigger and bigger the more you go on in time. So exchange in the globalization is something fundamental, it's something that we cannot avoid doing, because you cannot fight against globalization. You have to learn how to get along with globalization. Because our food, if you know exactly where it comes from, and this is one of our features of conceiving economics and products, is to connect the final processed product to the origin of the place where it comes from, in order to make the consumer, the final consumer, in the knowledge of knowing where this thing comes from. This is our target. Unfortunately, over 90 billion, which is 4 times what the government spends in Italy every single year, is made out of fake Italian-sounding food. And so this is something that we have to fight, not only in the local system, political system, but it's something we have to fight also at a national rate system. And when you buy something, I know that in the United States you get along with organic food, you get along with tracing in the label the origin of the product, you are getting advanced also in this kind of conception. This is something that you must know that we are trying to do, putting our best effort in doing in Italy. Because if you don't do this, you have all these fake things that invade, that run up over all the world and make obviously our competing system in the incapacity of facing the globalization. Because we have incredible costs, we have incredible production costs, we have incredible books of rules, certifications, and all these kinds of things that obviously enchain the companies. But if you don't have the added value, the knowledge of the consumer that knows exactly where that things come from and why that thing is not only from the organoleptic point of view, but also from the sanity point of view, perfect, wonderful, enjoyable, obviously we cannot compete. So this is something I wanted to tell you. I thank you very much for your attention. Maybe I spoke too much. I excuse myself, but I'm here at your disposal for any questions. If you have any questions to ask, I'm here to answer these questions, and I really hope you enjoy. I like you very much. I love the United States, and viva Grosseto. Bye.